So here we are again. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another live stream talk. Today we don't have our beloved friend
No, he's
Steven.
on vacation.
A big hug to Steven. Hope you're doing fine, my friend. Enjoying the vacation. We have our American friend Harper. How are you, Harper?
I am doing really good. How are you, Marco?
Well, I'm really good, even though it's very hot outside. I have here some ventilation because I don't like this so hot and so cold temperatures. I'm around 20 to 25 Celsius. It's my
Yeah.
optimal temperature. So, if you are watching us and if you want to join the conversation, please feel free to join us on the screen. You have there on comments the link to join. If you want also to try, let me see if I find it. If you want to try this amazing tool which we are using, Restream, you can have it, you can try it following this link here. It's an amazing platform evolving every week. So it's a nice way for you to go live and really easy. And today we're going to have again some random conversations about whatever we want.
Whatever comes up.
Whatever comes up. And so, Harper, do you have any good news, anything you want to share with us?
I don't know. I'm trying to make the best of my time, not being able to really do stuff. Where I live in the U.S., in Arizona, where most places are open, but I can't go to the gym or anything. So I'm trying to find ways to, stay in shape at home. So get out, try to do some yard work, stuff like that. Just try to stay busy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important. I miss so much this. Here in Portugal, we just have one sport. For instance, here in the United States, some like baseball, some like American football, some love basketball, some ice hockey. Here in Portugal, we only almost have soccer. so, so that's the thing. And I had this group of guys which we used to play football at the end of the day on Thursdays. Every Thursday we play football in not on the big field, but on the how do I say? Oh my God! Like where a football, a basketball team plays. How do you call it that on English?
You talking about on a football field or?
No, basketball. This.
Basketball court.
Yeah, it's same. It's inside football, 5 against 5, and it's.
Oh, okay.
It's a good thing because we are. Even though the competitive things, it's always there. As we used to say here, we don't like to lose, even though it is we are playing for beans.
Oh yeah.
But I think nobody likes to lose. That's the point. And men's we are even more competitive. I think it's kind of biologic thing, and I missed it because it was it's a whole process. Because, for instance, we play today, a team will win and the other one will lose. Okay, sometimes there's a draw, but because something that I think Americans don't know what it is, a draw. Because it's funny that I think all American main sports, any of them could finish with a draw, right?
Yeah, rarely do you ever see anything that ends in a tie. It's pretty rare. It's either they go until somebody wins, and
Yeah, and that's the thing. Here, it could end. Soccer could end with a draw, and so we finished the game on the vests. We are some joke of the others because the kind of bullying there, and it keep going during the week because we have a chat group on Facebook where people are sending images, jokes, and gifs about what happened or what is about to come, revenge or something. Okay, and we keep going this dynamic, and I miss it because it's good for the body to play and for the mind. So I'm looking forward. Let's see if I'm not sure about it, but let's see if next fall we can get back to the court to play. Did you play? Did you play any? I don't know how do you say
Sports?
Sports like on an official championship or something.
Not professional or anything like that. I mean, I did sports up through high school, and that was it. I did American football as a kid. From age 7 to 13, I played soccer, and tried baseball a couple times. But other than that, I tried basketball one time, and all my friends just kind of took the ball from me and said, "Go sit down," and they were laughing. And the bad thing is I'm 6'5", so I'm 6'5", so I'm, it's like they wouldn't tell me what I was doing. So
let me see how much is this
I could slam dunk, I could do everything else, but apparently they wouldn't
in metric.
help me on teaching. So
do you know how much it is on metric scale? On metric scale, how much is that?
Let me look real quick. I think it's probably just under 2 meters, but I want to say 195 or let's see, 6'5" in centimeters. 195 and a half.
Okay, you're tall. I'm 188.
Okay.
For a Portuguese guy, it's not. It's big. Yeah, because I think we are about medium size. I think it should be around 170 something. Not much. Not much. We are tiny people usually.
Yeah, my heritage is Scandinavian, and we tend to be somewhat tall.
Yeah.
And obviously blonde hair.
That's tall. And I think, I don't know, maybe you don't have this situation, but I made lots of live streamings with the Spanish guests, and when I went to Congress on Spain, and they met me. Oh my God, you're so tall! You don't look so tall on camera.
It's all how you place the camera,
Well, okay, I've seen it,
You put the camera below you, and it's like, oh, you look so tall.
And
it's like, oh, you look so short.
That's the thing, and that's how it is. And how does live streaming is going for you? Oh, look who's here! Hello, Chris. How are you?
Oh, I forgot to look at the comments. How you doing, Chris?
If you want to join, please. I don't have the. Let me put the link on LinkedIn. So if someone wants to join us. So how is it going? The other day you had that special. I think you were talking about springs on your show.
Yes.
How does it went?
It's good. It's good. This week I'm doing today in about 3 hours. I'm going to be doing one on what to look for in a used car. Because, you go to a car dealership and, if it's an older car, they make it look all nice and pretty and everything else. But what do you look at for, other than price, and then what you see on the outside of the car, but the only two things you really look at. So I'm going to go into detail how to look at things and see if it's actually a good deal or not, or if you're buying a problem.
There's, I think, one brand or two brands here. One, I'm sure, a car brand, which was a good brand, Toyota. And some mechanics lately told me, when you have a Toyota, you have two moments of joy. When you buy the car and when you sell the car.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Yep.
true?
Well, maybe another time, Chris. We'll try to
Yeah.
we'll try to keep you entertained.
Wait,
Where are you from, Chris?
which problems usually has Toyota? Because they were a very good car, right?
Toyotas?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems that now not so good.
Yeah, they've had the last decade or so. They've had a lot of problems. In the past, I mean, early 2000s and all through the 20th century, they had them and Honda were like the most loyal, most dependable cars. But the Toyotas, they started in like the early 2000s, I think, somewhere around there, like 2008, 2009. They had that problem, at least on the American cars, that if they found out that if they went under power lines, the electronic accelerator would like if you just press the gas pedal all the way to the floor, it would speed up on its own.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I mean they were rear-ending people and everything else, and they couldn't figure out what it was until they actually determined that it was the same frequency, which is 60 megahertz, as the power lines. So it would, if there was a power surge on the power lines, as they went under, it would tell the car, floor it.
Oh
So,
my God.
Yeah. And they've been going downhill since then. They've had just so many safety recalls on some of the weirdest stuff, but
Good. And how do you came with new ideas for topics? It's something you ask people.
sometimes I get people saying, hey, do a show on this, or hey, do a show on this. And so, as long as there's something car related, hey, I'm all about that. I mean, if somebody wants to hear it, then I'll definitely go out and do it. So,
Which problems are more common? Usual. Okay. We have a proud Toyota owner here. My
2000.
2007 Toyota Matrix has
283,000 miles. Wow.
around 400k kilometers.
Kilometers.
Matrix. Oh, you make these on your car.
Yeah. Yeah, that would, I've never actually driven one of those, but I see them a lot. And for 283,000 miles, obviously that is doing you really well. And, you get the oil change and preventive maintenance and stuff like that. They will last forever if you take care of them. That is one thing about Toyotas is, if you get something that doesn't have that problem, as long as you take care of that preventive maintenance, they will last forever, and that's one of the things that I miss about, a lot of these new cars is they're made to not have to do a tune-up for like the first 100,000 miles or so. But then after that, it's like, they're kind of disposable. So it's like, I'm one of those people, I like to have a car. I had a car that I bought for $240. The car was falling apart, but I owned it for 13 years. So I mean, I definitely got my money's worth out of it. But
Absolutely, I think
$12 a year. Hey,
I think lots of people embrace the car like a kind of family member, right? We have okay. Hello.
I have my little guest. This is Piper. She is a 3-pound Yorkie, and she's not shy.
She has the tongue outside the mouth. By the way, let me borrow your brains. Which tips do you give to someone to keep the car healthy? Because I think there are few things we can do as a car owner to prevent from going on.
Yeah, a lot of the manufacturers have a service schedule that you want to go by, where, some of them are, you want to replace this every 50,000 miles and, definitely get the oil changed. Back in the day when, before synthetics and all, everything was basic oil, you had the, it was 3 months or 3,000 miles, you had to change it. And the reason for that isn't, people will be like, well, I store the car for 6 months, so, I don't have to do it because I don't have 3,000 miles. Well, even while the car is sitting there, the oil is breaking down. That's why it's 3 months or 3,000 miles. It had basically a shelf life. But now, you have oils that are, that'll maintain their structure, if you will, but for 10,000 miles. One of the things that I like on my Camaro is that it tells you what percentage of the oil life is left, and what that's doing is it's checking the oil consistency. That's why as it breaks down, it'll get less and less. So like right now, I need to get my oil changed, but I'm waiting for this weekend to do that, and I'll do that myself. But yeah, I mean, it's really important, if you do the things, if you look at the schedule and say, okay, I just hit 37,000 miles, and you can look it up online if you don't have the book. Look and see, okay, 37,000 miles, what's coming up that I need to financially budget for. And as long as you do that, the car is going to last a long time. And, that's how I get cars to, be drivable and still be nice, a decade or two down the road.
Okay, and one thing people says that it's really, I don't think if you have the same problem there in the United States, but here we have this white label gasoline, and people use, it's not the same. Do you have this problem there, or this kind of?
We have, I think what you're asking is, we have different, depending on like which gas station you go to. Some of them will buy they'll get from a company that makes it. It's not as high quality gas versus, what we call cheaper gas. Where typically if you go to an ARCO, that you're going to kind of get, crappier gas than if you go to, say, a Chevron or something. They have certain standards that they have to do. Now, I live down here I live over in Arizona, and I actually don't even go to an ARCO. I go to a little convenience store that's called Quick Trip, and they've actually, we've had somebody that went around the area and actually tested all the gas. And Quick Trip, a little convenience store, like a 7-Eleven type thing, actually had the best gas of anything. And so that's where I always go. Because if you get crappy gas, for your vehicle, you'll notice it whenever you pull the spark plugs out. You can see exactly what your engine is doing. If you've got if there's oil all over it, like starting to have an oil buildup, you should not have oil on your spark plugs. So if you do, that means okay, some of the rings in there, and I'm not going to get into all the specifics. But you're basically, your engine has so much wear that you're getting oil where it shouldn't be. So you either use a thicker oil if you just want to make that engine last a little longer, or you're looking at either changing the engine or just getting rid of the car. So, but yeah, terrible gas will give you. I mean, it'll cause a lot more problems than just poor gas mileage.
That's something people used to say, likes to say here. Most people who understand a little bit about cars is that sometimes to save a few bucks in gasoline, you are wasting them, because you will need an amount of money way bigger to fix the car.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you kind of when it comes to automotive, you kind of get what you pay for. I don't now in my car's a 2015 Camaro. I don't put premium unleaded gas in it, because it's actually designed. My engine is actually designed with the lower octane gas, so I get to use the least expensive gas. But I get it at the QT where the quality of the gas is better. So, and I get 30 miles per gallon. So I'm not arguing. If I didn't get 30 miles per gallon, I'd still have the same car and I'd still drive it the same way I do. So,
well, and here cars are most. I'm not so drinker, if you know what I mean, because gasoline, it's very expensive here, mostly here in Portugal, for instance.
Yeah, it's more expensive where you're at than it is where I'm at.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because if you cross the border in Spain, where the net income of each family it's higher than here, gasoline it's more it's cheaper than here. You know?
Right, yeah.
A nonsense.
State of California is just to my west, and when I did that road trip last month, I went through LA, and gas was more than twice the price than it is here, and I was like, I'm glad I don't live here. But it was ridiculous. It was $3.97 for a gallon when it's like $2.09 here. So it was ridiculous.
Well, my friend, someone wants to pick also your brains.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on ethanol?
What are your thoughts on ethanol blends? I'm assuming you're talking like E85, stuff like that. I haven't ventured that way yet. That is in the plans for my car. But I haven't really played around with them at all. I've dabbled a little with, a little bit of extremely high octane in my car when I was at the track, but I haven't really played around with ethanol blends at all. So for me, that's still something new.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm amateur when it comes to that.
I think, and that's good to make your point, your statement. E85 or
so E85 is, and for Marco, that's a kind of a corn-based fuel here in the U.S., and it allows the you can get higher horsepower easier from the car. In a nutshell, and that there are a lot of the modern muscle cars are adding that kit to their vehicles so that they can get extra horsepower, when they're at the track or just on the streets. But it started out as a government plan to help us find fuel when the Middle East wasn't, they were kind of hoarding oil and everything and trying to drive the prices up and everything else. It was kind of the government plan to use, something that we have here in the States. That was before we started drilling for oil. And but yeah, it's I have a lot of friends that actually run E85, and they keep trying to tell me to do it online, but I'm doing my car in steps, and I'm going to get a supercharger for it and get all this kind of stuff. And with that kit, it's going to come an E85 kit with a higher fuel pressure fuel pump. So yeah, and then it'll be fun, and then I'll have some experience on it. But
is it safer or greener or something, or it's the same?
I think anything that you're burning, I mean, you can, unless you're running like peanut oil or anything like that. I mean, if you're running any kind of oil, there's gonna be exhaust. If you have there's some that and every different locations throughout the U.S. have different emission standards. Some don't have any, others have just safety regulations. But I mean, you get trucks that run diesel, and they've got this big cloud of smoke, and then you've got little cars that run clean as anything, but they get hit. They fail the emissions test. So most of them are flawed, but with that car that I had that was $240, I had when I sold it, when I actually traded it in and got money from the dealer towards my a newer car, I had over 309,000 miles on it, and I still street raced it. But it ran, and I was in Washington State at the time, and we had very strict emission laws, and so I would have every 2 years I'd have to take it in whenever I was renewing my license tabs, and they would tell me I got a young kid that was fairly new, and he was into cars, and so he told me, he gave me the little printout, and it showed exactly what I was burning, and I was burning like 5% of what I was allowed to burn. Like, I was, allowed to burn like 1.0, and I was burning like, 0.00 something. I was, and he said, I need you to pop the hood so I can make sure that all your emission stuff is hooked up. And I was like, why? I'm burning clean. He looked around and he goes, I'm not supposed to tell you, but you're burning too clean. I'm like, I'm not polluting enough? And he goes, yeah, basically. And so at that point, I was like, this is a flawed system. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because to get more horsepower, you need to work the engine so that it burns all of that gas. You don't want stuff going out the tailpipe. They don't understand that. They don't understand that. They just think, if it's loud, obnoxious, it must be polluting the air. So, but yeah, then you have hybrids, which, obviously or not hybrids, but you have electric vehicles, no emissions, no nothing, right? Great for the environment. Wait until you have to dispose that battery.
And to build the battery, for instance, I think it's a kind of hypocrisy here about this lithium thing, lithium mines.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and people are making some kinds of riots and manifestations and something, and they are, I don't want to have a lithium mine here, and they are holding a mobile phone.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah. So
as you're texting.
What do you think it's the battery built on? Hair, something, or water? It's not. It's lithium.
Yeah.
I think
and Chris, on the E85, the problem that they have is you need to get a tester for that, because like around here, I live in Tucson, and most of the places down here, you're only looking at E50, 55, so it's a really low based. You're not even getting any real effort out of it, and so then you have your vehicle really doesn't have any benefit of it. So yeah, if you're running E85, get a tester, and before you get gas, like say if you go to a new station or something like that, test it first to see if it's actually worth getting there. A lot of places, it does, you're not getting E85, you're getting like E50, and it's, you might as well use, a 2-cycle, put oil and all that other crap in your stuff. So anyway, that's just mine.
So someone else asked questions.
Yes. What have you got for me today?
Well, you have some inspiration to bring new topics to your show, I think.
Let me. Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem, Chris.
Chris is, thank you. Good. So when does this car passion started? It was with that car?
It actually started when I was in the military. I was in Southern California, and I was single, lived in the barracks. I just graduated high school, and I get up on a Saturday morning, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go to the beach, play some volleyball, whatever. And everybody's out working on their cars. And the problem, going, what, are you guys all crappy cars or what? And I'm down there hanging out with them. And I'm just like, what are you doing? He goes, nothing. I'm like, then why are you under the hood? And he's like, well, I'm just messing around. I'm like, what do you mean you're messing around? And, but it was, I'm like, well, what are you doing? He goes, cleaning. I'm like, oh, okay. What is that? And it just kind of started. I'm like, all right, well, I had a little Honda Civic at the time, and which really wasn't me, but it was my first car that I bought on my own, and and I'm like, oh, okay. So I went over to my car, popped the hood, and I'm like, start cleaning, and next thing you know, I've rebuilt the engine, I've done all the body work, I've done all this kind of stuff, and I was just like going, oh, okay. And then I got that car all done, and I'm like, that was kind of fun. What other kind of car can I get? So I sold that, and I got a brand new paint job for it and everything else. And then I sold that and got something else, and then it's just gone from there. And my daughter's into cars. She's done an engine swap in her Jeep. She's dropped the transmission pan, changed the fluid. She's done all kinds of stuff, and all on her own. And her boyfriends just look at her like,
"Oh my God,
what are you doing?"
What's happening here?
And she's this girly girl, but she's not afraid to get under here and get all dirty and everything else. And they're just like, "What are you doing?"
Does she know how to change a flat tire?
What's that?
A tire.
Oh yeah. That was mandatory before she ever got take the car out by herself. Is all right. Take that tire off and put it and swap it with that one.
Oh, great! I think it's
right
a
there,
nice policy
right there in the driveway.
I'm gonna one day. I was parking my car, and on the sidewalk, I was trying to put on the top of the sidewalk, because I was trying to park this 2-minute parking, and then the sidewalk bited my tire, and it was raining like hell.
Oh, really?
On the sidewalk, with the car in half on the sidewalk and half on the street. So he was like this, and I was with raining, and and I was changing the tire. And I said, "Oh my God!" And then a lady came with an umbrella, and she stood by my side. I said,
"Yeah, a car will never break down in the most perfect spot under perfect weather conditions. It is. I broke down. I was on a road that kind of went up, and it was sharp turns. It was night. There's no light out. It's dark out. There was no moon, and I'm in a corner. So the cars come in both directions. Neither one can see me until they're right behind me. And I broke a U-joint on my drive shaft, and my truck is just dead right there. And I was just like, oh. So I get down there, pull the drive shaft out, I put it in the back, put it in 4-wheel drive, and I start driving away. And my wife at the time is like going, "What are we doing?" And I'm like, "We're going home." And she goes, "How?" And I'm like, "Well, that's kind of a stupid question." I was like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "That's the drive shaft, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Well, how are we moving?" Well, it's not the only drive shaft. So I was basically having a front wheel drive Blazer. So
it's and when we have more things to go wrong, I think there's some kind of force outside looking. Okay, let me see where this could go wrong. There. Okay, let's do it. Come on. I have this situation 2 years ago. I had a flight booked to Valencia in Spain, and it was a warning about a strike on Ryanair, because as usual, Ryanair, they have these situations with with this crew, and when they give the first warning, it was to the right day I had this flight. And I say, okay, we have 3 months. I think they will fix the thing. I won't be bothered by this. So I was waiting and waiting, and I asked a friend which worked on a flying attendant on Ryanair. I asked the procedure and something, and how usually these warnings really go to strike and everything. And she said, "Well, Marco, and let's see." And I asked, "And if the strikes really happens, I don't have flight. What should I do?" "Well, you should ask them to give the money back." And okay, let's see. I was hoping nothing happened. So I asked another friend, and he said to me, "Okay, when is the flight?" And I said, "It's Friday morning." So if till Wednesday they didn't say nothing or anything, it's okay. I think it's okay. So the Wednesday come and nothing, and I say, "Okay, it's okay. I have flight." Okay, perfect. It was Thursday afternoon. It was about 2 p.m. I got this message from Ryanair. "Dear Mr. Novo, we have some updates on your flight." I went to my Ryanair app, and I said, I saw this red word, "canceled flight." And I say, "Oh my God, I need to go to Valencia." I picked my car. I went to the how do I say it? Oh my God, to garage. And take a look at this car. I need to make 100 kilometers tomorrow. 1,000. It's 1,000 kilometers tomorrow to head to Valencia in Spain. Just let me know if it's okay. To oil level and something. Okay, I think, and I had some issues with my turbo. Okay, I think it's okay. So at the time I had to wake up to go to the airport. I wake up and took the road, and I was about to arrive. It was I think not even 100 kilometers to arrive to Valencia, and I felt this thing on my car, pok, 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 and I said, "Houston, we have a problem." And then I pulled the car, and let me see what happened. Back left tire exploded. Fortunately, it was not a front tire, because Yeah. So,
Yeah, definitely don't want a front one, especially if you're going fast.
well,
But you get the weight of the car and it will.
not so. I didn't drive so far. I'm about 120 kilometers hour. It's
Yeah,
it's the maximum allowed.
that's about 50 to 55 miles per hour here. So yeah.
That's how I used to go. And then okay, and it was the left on the side of the road. Okay, I have to pull on the highway. It was the highway, and it was really hot because Spain it's hot like here. I was changing the tire, and then okay, I had to when I arrived to Valencia, I was looking for a tire store, and then okay, let me see if I find the because I took a picture. let me show to our audience situation.
Yeah, I'm getting at the point now on my car where I need to start looking at, excuse me, on getting new tires, and kind of drive my car. I have a fun car to drive, so I drive appropriately to have a fun car, and I enjoy it. So I go through tires a little bit quicker, but I'm okay with that. So, but I'm looking at. I've got the new cars have like the really big wheels with the smaller tires, and
Let me see.
I don't like that look.
That's,
Oh, ooh,
okay.
wow.
And then I arrived to the tire store, and I took the tire off. It was on the, oh my god, on the back side of the car when you put the suitcase and everything. How do you call it on?
Trunk.
Yes, on the trunk, right. And I put it there on the floor, and then the lady arrived, and I asked, "Well, what do you think if we put some patches here? Do you think you can fix it?"
Yeah, I used to work at my last job before I retired was at a tire store, and I was retired before, but I figured when I moved to Arizona, do something with my time, and but yeah, some of the blowouts that we'd see, or some of the things that we would find that were in a tire, it was just amazing. You're finding a screwdriver that's poked in and then out of a tire, and you're like, how did that even happen? But yeah, our biggest thing down here is dry rot on tires, because the sun is so much stronger here, because we're in a desert. And but yeah, that's the biggest thing is if you're going to take we have a lot of college kids here, because in Tucson we have a major university, and so we built up a good reputation with them. And so if they were getting ready to drive back home for, at the end of the school year, we'd have them come in, and we'd give them a little pre-inspection, make sure tires were good, they weren't going to have any problems, break down halfway, home or something like that, especially if they were going to do a cross-country drive. So.
Yeah, I think it was. I had two problems. One, the tire was a little bit old and dry. It was.
Yep, starts cracking.
Yeah, and then it was hot. I was driving about 900 kilometers, so.
Yeah, as they get hot, they start expanding, and if they're dry rot,
yeah.
Instead of this much tread, now you got this much tread trying to hold in air, and it doesn't work that way. So
yeah, and so it exploded.
Yeah.
But thankfully, it was just as we used to say, it was just the scary moment. Nobody got hurt.
Yeah, I actually grew up around tires as a little kid. My grandpa owned a major tire store. And so my job was, and I thought it was the most important job ever, but whenever he got old tires in, and he was going to, resell them or whatever. My job was to pick all the little rocks out of the tread. He goes, I want you to make them look new. He wasn't selling them as new tires, but but it was back in the days when they would actually, retread the ones for the semi trucks and stuff like that. And but that was my job. I was 5 years old and I had a screwdriver and I'm pulling rocks out of tires. I thought I have a full-time job.
It's kind of handicraft.
Yeah, exactly. Now I look back and going, I actually learned a lot from just having that job. It's teamwork. It was. Then when I was 12, I got a paper. I was a newspaper delivery guy, and I've been working ever since. So.
Absolutely, it's really important to. For instance, when I was young, I know.
Yeah, I think you're still young, man.
Yeah, that's my name. Novo.
You're younger than I am, so.
Means young means also new. The right translation, novo. My oh my God, my surname. Oh my God, sometimes I miss the words.
You do great with English, man.
It's new. So I will be new because there's this the story about my surname. It's that when a new kid is born, for instance, and he has the same name as his father,
right?
They gave, as you used to call him, Junior. Here, I think it's in Portugal and also in Spain, Galicia, they call them Novo, which means, for instance, there's the father, which is the old one, and then the new kid. It has the same name as his father, but he has this Novo, which means, okay, he's the oldest and this is the youngest.
Okay.
So it makes sense because surnames should come from something. They didn't come from trees. Even though here, and I think also in English names, some surnames came from names of trees.
Yeah, I mean, you look at my last name, right here, and it was, obviously I came from somebody named Peter. And so as you know, we've talked before, I'm going through and following my genealogy back to Denmark and stuff. And I'm finding out that, that it's like this generation is Peter. This one, I'll use my name, is Harper. And then, then this one's Peter, and then this one's Harper, and they kept bouncing back and forth. It was like the family name, that they were doing. And then when they started about the, I don't know, whatever it was, 15th, 16th, 17th century, they started, wanting surnames. That's where it came from. It was like, well, my name is Harper, and I'm Peter's son, so I'm Harper Peterson. And then it was like the family, whatever the family name was. So yeah, that's how I got Harper. Actually, is Harper was the last name as well. So
yeah, that's funny. Well, it's time to finish.
We did it.
Well, it was a really entertaining and insightful conversation. I think it's one of the good things about live streaming is that you can go with the flow and build. Even though it was not prepared at all.
I kind of like just kind of going, hey, we're here. What should we talk about today? I mean.
Yeah, we made this a lot of times with our good friend Steven. Another shout out to Steven. Do you saw this conference? You will be participating soon.
Hope he's relaxing. I hope he's relaxing. I'm sure he's watching videos, but he's not behind the camera. Well, actually, in front of the camera now.
Yeah,
but,
I see him doing something. It's not. I think it's not lazy vacations. I think.
Right. It's taking a week off.
I think he's making some scenes on this vacation thing.
Oh, I'm sure he's utilizing his time wisely. So
okay, hope so. Well. Harper, it was a pleasure, my friend. For those of you who doesn't follow Harper yet, please follow him. Please drop on comments your.
Right down here.
Okay, you have this information.
Go to Facebook, look at, type in at Car Therapy Group.
And let's follow him. So today later, he will bring some new show talking about what you should look on used cars to see if it's a good car for you.
Yep.
Okay? Don't, because here we have this situation when we buy cars. One thing to judge to see if it's a good car is to hit the wheels with the foot, to kick the wheels.
Kick the tires. Yep.
Kick the tires. If it remains there, it's a good car.
I've actually seen people at a car lot, and they'll look around and they'll kick the tires, and they're just kind of like, then they shrug, like, I don't know, that's what I thought I was supposed to do.
That's it. Well,
I'm like, a salesperson is going to see you coming a mile away.
Okay, let me see if it's working. Do you got something?
Are you going to try? You're going to try your video again?
No,
It didn't work last week.
No, it's not. It's not my video. It's this thing. I don't know. Don't you hear nothing?
No. I hear a click.
Yeah, that's me. Because I have this.
Marco's clicking. Oh.
And he has these buttons. I'm pushing them because usually they used to make a nice sound, but I think they lost the sound. They are dead.
They're on vacation with Steve.
Hello?
Steven took them.
Okay. No problem at all. So, bye-bye. Wish you a good Wednesday, a good Thursday also, and a good Friday, and keep going. Okay. This time, the outro video, I think it will work. Bye-bye. See you all. Let me see. There you go.